As we know, the increasing demand in project requirement for different companies, we require new software along with the different operating system for applications, which create more data and we need more processing power and more memory. But there is a way to overcome such situation, which is known as virtualization. So today we will understand what is virtualization. So what exactly virtualization will do. So let's take a look that with an example. So here's a person who is working as a software developer in an IT firm, and he often has to work on different projects involving multiple operating systems. According to the project requirement, he will need to work on a different multiple operating systems. So during this, he often come across cases where the managing of data becomes problematic due to the compatibility issues with the different operating systems. So which make it hard for the completion of the project. So that can he do to what he can do to overcome such a problem. So to overcome such a problem, he decided to use virtualization. So but what is virtualization? How does it help for him? So let's see that. To begin with, we will look at what is exactly the virtualization is and how it helps us. We will understand what virtual machines are. After that, we will learn about the role and different types of hypervisors during the process of virtualization. After that, we will learn different types of virtualizations available and how they affect our system differently, and we will see the benefits of virtualization in forthcoming videos. So to begin with, we will understand what is virtualization. Virtualization is nothing but utilizing software to create a virtual layer over the hardware, which allows system hardware to be used more efficiently and allows an appropriate return of the hardware cost. The software, a hypervisor, also allows the element of the system like storage, memory, processor, etc. to be distributed among multiple separate and secure virtual computers known as virtual machine. To understand the situation of virtualization much better, let's take an example. So this is the system installed with a Windows operating system, which is officially known as the host OS, where the virtualization software known as the hypervisor will run, and then using the hypervisor software we can have multiple instances of different OS including Unix, Mac and Linux, which are also known as virtual systems or guest OS. The working of virtualization is only possible by the use of software known as hypervisor. And we will learn the different types of working of hypervisor and all those in the future. So let's understand what is virtualization. So as the name suggests, virtualization is nothing but an emulation or a virtual representation of a physical operating system on a hardware device. The virtual machines are also known as guest OS, where a physical system that they run is known as the host OS. So software that makes the virtualization possible is known as the hypervisor, which is a software layer that manages the virtual machine. It forms an interface between the physical system and the virtual machine, which ensures the proper access of the resources. It is also manages the virtual machine so that they don't interfere with each other resources. If a single virtual machine fails, it will not affect the other virtual machine. There are different types of hypervisors too. The first type of hypervisor is known as the type 1 hypervisor or the bare metal hypervisor. This type of hypervisor directly interacts with the hardware system and uses the resources. The other type of hypervisor is known as the type 2 hypervisor, which runs as an application on the host operating system, and the hypervisor also coordinates with the virtual machine of a resource management. So that virtualization which is help us, let's take a real world example. The hospital is planning to conduct a billing record, all those things on a single server, whereas the doctor need to access the data. Sometimes if the system crashes or whatever failure occurs, he cannot access the data, so that he cannot provide proper consultation. So that they go with the virtualization concept, that each one is running on a single server but on a virtualized platform, so that the billing is separate, pharmacy is separate, and patient data are in separate, so that if a system fails, it will not affect the other data. Each and every person can access the data efficiently. So likewise, the virtualization helps in the today's world to make possible with everything without idealizing of system. So the system ideal is avoided by the help of virtualization. Virtualization helps in the modern computing system to avoid such an issues occurring, underutilized servers or underutilized data, all those things. And also it avoids the fault tolerance is high in the virtualization. Thank you.